Start in a moment, just checking things out. We'll be starting in one Hello, everyone, and welcome to our broadcast today. We're going to be talking about Top Gun, the trailer for that new movie that's coming out, and it's very interesting. That line that you see in the trailer. I don't know if anyone, well, most of you should have seen it by now. But let's take a quick look at it just to refresh our minds as to what is said in the trailer, particularly a particular note for our discussion today. So let's take a look at that right now. And I see, where is that top screen? Okay, this is the USA Today, a search result page on USA Today, as you can see. And this is a trailer where you'll see and hear the line. Listen for this line. It's fascinating. It's wonderful.
Uh-oh. Looks like someone's still nervous about buying a
And
new house.
forgive the
Wasn't
ad,
that
but so
obvious?
you're getting
You know, maybe you'd worry less if you got Geico to help with your homeowner's insurance. Hey,
So
Steve.
we'll give them the benefit.
Thanks, man.
See how much you could save on homeowners insurance.
+30 years of service. Combat medals, citations. Only man to shoot down 3 enemy planes in the last 40 years. Yet you can't get a promotion, you won't retire. Despite your best efforts, you refuse to die. You should be at least a 2-star admiral by now. Yet here you are. Captain. Why is that?
Yes, here you are, Captain. Why is that? And look at how he replies to that.
It's one of life's mysteries, sir.
Indeed, one of life's mysteries. Is it really? Is this really a mystery? Turn that off. Is that really a mystery? Now, if you see the rest of the trailer, you'll see the answer really in the rest of the trailer. Not that they say it, and I don't know what they say in the movie or whatnot, but the bottom line is this, and this is what we're going to talk about today: is why is it that he's still a captain? The simple answer to that. Now, if you understand the Air Force, if you know anything about the Air Force, the pilots are captains. That's what their ranking is. Now, of course, when you start going up into higher than that, you're going to be stuck behind the desk like the other guy is there doing, right? So the question here that is posed is, why is he still captain? It's obviously, and the reason the higher up sitting behind the desk is asking him this question, you know, you would figure the guy that's higher up than he would know, why didn't he get promoted, right? He said you should be a two-star general. Why didn't they promote him, right? Like when you go to a job, they promote you and they bring you up to the next level and the next level, right? But if in the Air Force, and I'm sure the other branches are this way, it is that you need to, if they're recommending you, you need to accept. See, if you don't accept, then you want to stay where you're at, then you can stay there. He's obviously, and I'm saying that just for the sake of the movie, it's ideation. And the simple thing is that if you can see the rest of the trailer, you'll see that he just loves flying. This man is impassioned with flight. He loves speed, he loves risk, he loves the thrill that piloting a super powerful aircraft, because of course he could also leave and fly for JetBlue, but he wants to fly in these multi-million-dollar super powerful aircraft, and that is what he enjoys, and that's what he likes to do. And so, what does this have to do with us, and why is this a great movie? The thing is this: I think a lot of us are living our lives not really fulfilling the things that we love, the things that we really want to do. We get stuck in trying to live another person's or society's opinion or fashioning of what we should be doing. I think a lot of us fall victim to that. I mean, you fall victim to that because you're not understanding that as a child, of course, your parents and those with authority over you, they told you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And this is done in a time when you don't really know what it is that you're supposed to be doing, and you don't understand the ramifications of not doing something as opposed to doing it, or of the things that you do, and sometimes it is do, that has terrible consequences later on in life that you do. So that's the reason. But it seems that we, as children, we come to learn to obey, but we're not learning to think. And that is a real bad thing. Terrible thing, because then later on in life, you're not really doing what you should be doing. You're only doing what you've been taught to do, which is, what is it? Which is doing what you're told. See? And that is terrible, to be doing what you're told as an adult, because really you're carrying through adulthood the thing that was supposed to be done as a child, but you were supposed to replace the obedience with understanding. And so this is the main point that I want to address today to you, is that when you continue in the obeisance, the whole problem with obeisance is that it was to be a trainer. It's like a tutor from the Bible, right? The Bible talks about tutor. And those who know what I'm referring to, they click, right? Yeah, that's right. So these things were supposed to be obeyed, like children obey their parents because they don't know any better. But there's a time of maturation. In all of our human existence, there is maturation. You cannot, even if we're going to talk a little bit about Bible right now, but we're going to talk about other things, psychotherapy and other things like that, are all parts of life. But a lot of you are religious. You have a religious background. So realize that when God created man, he made man to grow through phases. And there's a phase of obedience, which is being a child. Okay, being a child is not a phase of rebellion. It's a phase of obeisance, because the child depends solely on the parent for their sustenance, for their maintenance, for their survival. So obviously, obeisance is, of course, the child is trying to learn its way, trying to learn to walk. It has to do things on its own, and the parents encourage this, right? But the parents provide structure. You provide boundaries. But it's terrible that you go through all of your life, that when you become a young adult and even into further on, get older, you still need boundaries. That's terrible, because it means that you haven't learned. Okay, if you're still looking, and it's terrible, some of the religious thinking out there which talks about obeisance, and you never learn to have understanding, well, then you're keeping you infantile, spiritually speaking, forever. And I'm speaking directly, I'm not speaking loosely now. So those of you who have understanding know exactly what I just said, because every word I just said was connected to the things you understand. Absolutely, and 100%. All right. So so we have to understand that what this movie is showing is an adult who knows what he wants to do, who understands what it is that makes him feel alive every single day. Okay. And so he made a decision in his life to do something. He pursued something. And I'm just going by the trailer. I haven't seen the movie, but just going by the trailer, he pursued something that he really, really wants. And that's why when he was given the chance to go higher in this structure called the U.S. Air Force, he refused, because he was at the place that he most wanted to be for his life. And he would be perfectly happy that his life ended right there in that in that position. That is the fulfillment of his life's goals, of his desire. It is his full expression. And that is what we need to take away from this movie, Top Gun, is that you learn to express yourself fully, to pursue the things that express your person fully. Okay? You need to prepare. You need to do the things as a child that you're supposed to do, which is to go to school, yes, to follow the instructions given to you by your elders, by your parents, by your teachers, right? To do well in school, to show that you can accomplish, to show that you can dominate material that you are being given to review, to study, to know. You need to display that, because a lot of that, like in this movie, this he is demonstrating, he's practicing the things that he has learned. You just don't walk into the pilot seat. There's things that you have to understand, and these things come through your schoolwork. Now, speaking to children and to young people, you're in school to prepare to be a top gun in anything that you're interested in arts and sciences, and in social sciences and mathematical architecture and engineering and all types of things, medical, all things that you would want to do, no matter what you want to do, even that you don't need a college degree for. Knowledge will make you excellent in anything you choose to do. So you need to show yourself that you can do whatever the task is. It's a very important thing that us human beings, we need to be assured of and make sure that we can do. So it's simple, to be a top gun. So, but also we cannot forget, and as parents, and now talking to parents, you have to understand that as the child grows all along, it's not just when after he reaches a certain age, but as the child is grasping control of things. Your job as a parent is to help that child along the way, that to help that child develop expression through the things that they are manipulating, that they're holding on to, that they're looking at, that they're trying to gain control of actions, speaking, and all of those things. So you have to be careful how you react to things that they do, because overall the parent's job is to give the child empowerment. It's not empowerment. It's not to just tell the child they can't. It's to tell the child how. And I'm going to repeat that. It's not telling the child they can't. It's telling the child how. You see? So you need to always be understanding that the child eventually will be dealing with these things. It should not be that they can't. And so therefore later on when they're dealing with this, they are disobeying you. They are in disobedience. They are sinning. Oh, that's bad, right? You don't want to create this thing in your child. And I'm a preacher. I'm a pastor. You don't want to have people and adults and children, thinking that this is like bad, because what happens is these are things they have to grapple with. They're going to have to deal with. And then if you make it an issue of this is bad, this is a sin, well then you know what they're going to do? They're going to do it and they're going to hide it. They're going to cover it up. They're not going to ask for help, which is what a normal human being would do when they're confronted with a new situation, a new thing. What they're going to do is going to hide it. Plus the fact that people who abuse your child use that. They use it against the child. Or if you tell them, I'm going to let everyone know that this is what you did, that you're doing X, Y, Z. So they actually use this against the children. See, but you guys set it up. You guys set it up. So you have to be careful how you are teaching your child, because you need to teach your child, listen, okay? This is how you do XYZ. This is how you handle this. Okay? But right now we're not going to do this. But in any case, in the future, if something like this should occur, you need to come and tell me, okay? You don't want to stigmatize the child so that in the future they don't come and tell you. It's just simply that. This is why kids get abused and the parents don't know about it, because you done made that child understand that if he goes and touches that area or does XYZ, they're gonna pay hell. And okay, so that's what you did. You closed the door on the child on abuse in the future. You did it. Don't blame someone else. Don't go trying to get the guy who did it, or the girl who did it. Try to get them. Oh, they're the evil one. Because part of the problem is the one the parents are creating by teaching the child. Well, you're not teaching. You're imprisoning the child and causing them to sin. You see, you're making this an issue of sin, and when it should be an issue of understanding, of gaining control and dominance. Look at what God said in the beginning, right? He made man, and then he said, all these things I've given to you to have control over. He didn't tell him, he said, all these things I've given you to have control over. He gave him one thing, though, right? And this is just to prove my point. He said, this is wrong. This is a sin to do. Don't do it. He didn't tell them anything else. He just said, don't do it. Of course, when you tell someone don't do this, but you've told them everything else about how to know what is good and right, in terms of judging for yourself. Obviously, when Eve went to see the whatever it was, people say it was an apple. I don't say it was an apple. But in any case, it was the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. But when people go and look at it, they'll say, "Oh, like Eve did. What did she do? Hey, this looks good for you. This is what they taught me, that this is good to eat. That it looks good. Doesn't look like it's going to kill me, See, so that's the type of thing that happens, and then obviously, then the sin comes into play after that. We're not going to discuss theology right now and this and that because a lot of people will debate. But the bottom line is that we need to be instructing the child. Now that we're on the other side, we've done that already. That's the done deal. What we need to be doing is instructing the child in all righteousness, right? Doing the right things. Okay? But they need to understand. It's not an issue of obeying. It's an issue of understanding. So that needs to be done. And I think that most of us in our lives, what we need to be doing, because a lot of your questions, you have a lot of questions. What should I do? This or that? What should I do? This or that? It's really because you're not understanding what is important in your life. So now the question comes to you, what is important in your life? Because here in Top Gun, he's doing what's important in his life. And the question is, are you doing what's important in your life? And if you have others that you're raising, your children, you're raising children, are you helping them to pursue what they could want out of life, with first learning things, right? So they have to learn, and then after that, are you allowing them to put their learning into practical use, making right decisions along the way, which is basically what you're supposed to do. Are you making the right decision? That's why you give them consequences. You make sure that they learn the value to evaluate consequence with the action. I decided to do this, and this was the consequence. So, and then if they do it again, the consequence appears again. And something, don't make it a thing. A lot of us are making a thing of anger and all that. Of course, I do put on the angry face and the voice, but it's to emphasize this is why are you making this decision. We were here before. Don't you remember when you did this before and you had this consequence? So then I put that face. It's a face of disappointment. And really, I do the angry face because I'm making it a big deal. And you do that depending on the child that you have. People, there's different grades of children in terms of their ability to comprehend, what you're saying and how you're saying it. But depending on that, it ranges from it's all a disappointment, and you need to make that clear. This is not me. I'm not angry at you because of you. I'm angry that the choice you made after that, having done it before and having the consequence, you made the same choice again. And now I have to give you the consequence because I'm trying to teach you. So that is really the way it's supposed to, that the child understands, you know what? Mom and dad, they're not angry with me, but they're upset that I keep doing the wrong thing. You said this thing was not well planned, it wasn't thought out right, and I keep having this consequence, which I don't like either. I don't like the consequence. So you know what? When am I going to learn? Let us try to learn this lesson. And then we as parents, we need to observe when is it that they get it? When did they get it? They were there, they didn't do the wrong thing. And if it's something that's very typical or easily seen that they actually made the right choice and didn't do what they could have done, then they should get rewarded. That's when you give them the reward and say, "Oh, I noticed you didn't do this morning," and they say, "Yeah, I learned not to do that." And then you say, "And for that, you're going to get this treat because that is you. You deserve this." Now you make it them. You make it they are good. They did the right thing, and you reward them greatly, greatly. Do a really good thing so that they can really appreciate. Yeah, I did the right thing, and my mother, my father, they really treated me well. It's good to do good. So this is the simple thing. But and within all of that, what you're trying to achieve is that the right things, they can learn to do things well, so that then they can discover what it is that they want to do in their life, to and how to express themselves, and then they can do it in the right ways, and they can be living well. They're self-rewarding, and you've also along the way have rewarded them for doing the right things. Okay, making it brief, which is not my custom, but that's what I'm going to do. Take care and watch the movie. It looks like it's a winner, just to get that salient point, and celebrate your life, whatever it is your state, child, young adult, older adult. You know what? It's time for you to, based on right actions, to pursue what makes you happy, you know? And so that is what you need to be doing. But you have to have the first things in place. Is doing the right things. Because if you don't do the right things, consequences sooner or later. Okay, have a good day and thanks for watching.